Act 9. Truth is golden.
The ritual was complete. Under a sky torn by lightning, Zorgone had devoured the god of storms, and from that horrific violation, a new god was born. A fortress, yes, a fortress, tore free from the heart of Amargon, rising into the air like a black heart, a citadel floating in defiance of gravity itself. The rescued village had transformed into a city of dread, where honor was but a ghost, replaced with submission, and politics had crumbled, giving way to an ominous prophecy. At long last, Lord Saber emerged from the depths, his essence fragmented and scattered across a legion of clones, each wielding the mighty swords of creation. And there, shrouded in despair, followed Killjoy, a mere shadow, animated only by the fading whispers of his own memories, his spirit in ruins.
Witness the dawn of a
From his
new
throne,
age.
crafted of bone and crackling lightning, Zorgon's newly awakened eyes pierced through the darkness, revealing the final gems of fate. Order, firmly grasped by Torin, the indomitable god of strength. Light, concealed within the treacherous maze of Iggia. And chaos, throbbing with life inside the very essence of the Dark Father. With a fierce determination, Zorgone summoned his triumvirate and descended upon the Orc Plains, ready to confront the formidable Torin. The god loomed like the last mountain upon a world succumbing to its own demise. Yet when faced with mockery, he transformed, shrinking into the defiant form of a dwarf, full of stubborn pride. He charged forth, not with the blazing fury of flames, but wielding the sheer grit of mortal skill, striking Zorgone across the visage with a fierce resolve. As Saber and Killjoy erupted in anger, Torin morphed once more, becoming a paladin of an age long forgotten, a figure of honor who thrust a sword glistening with the weight of remembrance into the heart of Lord Saber. Each transformation, my friends, was a lesson etched in time, a poignant reminder of all they had forsaken. Zorgone, however, had learned a different kind of lesson. He whispered to the ground, and it obeyed, swallowing Torin's legs in a tectonic betrayal. The swords of air, light, death, and earth struck as one, impaling the Titan. Vengeance needed a finale. Zorgone summoned a divine fire that melted the god's form, transforming him into nothingness. "Drink with me," he commanded his allies, "and become eternal." They drank godhood like sacred poison, tasting the divine and the deadly. Lord Saber rose, a figure of dread, the god of destruction himself, striding forth in countless forms. Killjoy, too, found his feet upon this tumultuous path, but oh, how he was haunted by the anguished prayers of Torin's followers coursing through his veins. Guilt coiled around him like a serpent, squeezing tighter, yet a twisted, radiant loyalty held him fast, anchoring him to a heart that beat with sacrificial love. Oh, that love, fierce and unyielding, for sacrifice, dear friends, has teeth. With the mighty gem of order in hand, Zorgone unleashed Saber and his relentless legions upon the radiant cities of light, chaos spilling forth like ink upon a canvas. And Killjoy? He was cast toward the dragon graveyard, a desolate realm, seeking the portal to Iggia on a desperate quest to uncover the gem of light. Alone, Zorgone stood at the edge of the abyss, his heart pounding in defiance as he prepared to summon the Dark Father one last time, now transformed into a rival. The Bone Naga slithered forth through a crack in reality, its smile a glimmering maw of hunger beckoning. Without the need for spell or incantation, Zorgone propelled himself toward the creature, an embodiment of raw, animalistic frenzy. In a whirlwind of chaos, he tore bone from shadow, ripping the gem of chaos from the Naga's very essence. watching with fierce satisfaction as it retreated into the darkness, defeated. Now, burning with a new essence from the gem of chaos, Zorgone rejoined Lord Saber. Armies poured forth from Amargon, like swarms of ants, undead dragons torching cities, storms of fire and stone ripping across the horizon. Piled high at the base of Dragon Mountain, from the City of Privilege, Donna's voice rang out.
The light banished the halflings to save creation. If you burn us just to draw the light out, you are not finding justice. You are unmaking the world.
Zorgone answered with silence and a rain of fire. While the world choked under conquest, Killjoy stepped boldly into the living labyrinth of Aegea. Two horrors awaited him, an abomination of shark and insect and a skeletal death demon, both emerging to stop him in his tracks. They smashed him against the walls of flesh, the voices of the damned echoing in his ears, dragging him into the depths of his own shame. He was the last halfling, the war's catalyst, and for a moment, he nearly yielded. But then, the sword of light blazed forth, ignited by a single, undeniable truth. He walked in hell for love. The demons recoiled, not from sheer power, but from the purity of it. And in that moment, they fled. At the maze's heart, he found the gem of light, glimmering with a brilliance that pierced the shadows. Then, like thunder in the night, Zorgone appeared, his voice a tempest held at bay. "Give it to me," he demanded, a fury simmering beneath. Killjoy, standing resolute, smiled, a bittersweet blend of joy and sorrow dancing in his eyes. "No, brother, out of true loyalty, I must refuse." Zorgone's roar echoed with betrayal, a sound that shook the very walls around them. But the gem of light could not be seized. It could only be given freely. "Fine," Zorgone snarled, rage boiling over as he turned away, leaving Killjoy ensnared in darkness. "Hold it forever, here, in the dark." As the portal began to close, Killjoy's voice, steady yet tender, reached out to him. "I am not in the dark, brother. You are. I love you." Alone, Zorgone stood resolute, a fire igniting within him as he set out to create his very own gem of light. But, oh. The moment his hands began to weave magic, the trap, hidden by the true light, sprang shut like a predator's jaws. Visions assaulted him, sharp and unforgiving, slicing through the fabric of his being. Every life he had shattered, every horror he had unleashed. Their faces loomed before him, haunting in the stillness of judgment. Trembling, his claws that once wrought destruction, rose to his own chest, striking inward with a desperate fury. Scales split apart, and fire poured forth, a torrent of anguish and rage unleashed. In the depths of pain, the dream began to unravel. Zorgone, once found by the halflings, appeared small and fragile, ensconced in a family that was never truly his. He realized he was never born mortal. No, he had been lost in a dream. Beneath that guise, he glimpsed his true essence, a being of molten gold and starfire, one of the golden ones, older than the gods themselves. The weight of his existence pressed upon him, a revelation that shimmered with the brilliance of ages past, and with that light came the final, terrible truth. The Dark Father was but a mask for many a pantheon of unmaking known as the Valgothia, a relentless force that sought to end all creation itself. Zorgone had almost fulfilled their dreadful wish. His fire erupted into a scream of rage and shame as he tore himself apart, casting out the poison that had festered within him. Two aspects tumbled free: the god of vengeance, rising to stand against creation's relentless enemies, and the god of sacrifice, the heart that still held the power to choose mercy. The gods he had slain were restored, and thus vengeance clashed endlessly with destruction, a cacophony of fury and chaos. The moment Zorgone split, the walls of Igia unraveled, like a tapestry torn asunder. Killjoy stepped free, his gaze lifting to the sky, heavy with the weight of destiny. He knew, oh yes, he knew that his brother, the Golden One, had moved on to dream again, to be reborn until the final war beckoned. As the light poured over Meledeam, it restored cities, bringing forth the halflings once more, their laughter rising like a sacred hymn echoing through the air. Killjoy walked among them, his heart a tumult of pride and sorrow entwined, a bittersweet melody in the symphony of life. Then Killjoy ascended the fortress balcony, and in that moment he became still like a statue, carved from the very heart of the mountain, his skin hardening to granite, veins of gold coursing through him. His eyes, once alive with purpose, closed for the final time. He transformed into their silent, eternal sentinel, a guardian bound to the ages, ever watchful for the day when the Valgothia would shroud the skies in darkness. And somewhere, far beyond the reach of time, a Golden One holds his name close to heart, remembering the hero who stood unwavering.